Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rekakadash. Now, when you look at these Jehovah witnesses, they dealing in witchcraft. Because when you go to 1 Samuel chapter 15, it talks about rebellion. See, let's go to 1 Samuel real quick. 1 Samuel 15. Mind you, this is when Saul was commanded to pretty much kill all the Edomites because the Lord don't like Edomites because they was the adversary of God and they was the adversary of his people throughout this whole Bible. And so this is a time when Saul disobeyed, but it's a significant time too, because when he disobeyed and lost the kingship, it was over a controversy over the Edomites. He didn't obey the specific words concerning the Edomites to get rid of all of them. You see, and so it says in 1 Samuel 15:23, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity of idolatry, because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he has also rejected thee from being king. So these Jehovah wickedness, what we call them, they earn their name, because when you go into Acts, it clearly tells you who those people was. Acts 13:1. It says, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas, Simon, and that was called Niger. Now this word nigger or Niger, it is a Latin word that means black or dark skinned people. So these teachers that was back then was dark skinned people. And most of the dark skinned people on earth do not have straight hair. They have curly, kinky hair like wool. And when you go into real quick Daniel chapter 7, let's see here. Daniel 7 and 9, it shows you how the Most High hair was. It said, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. And this is not no what you call it, symbology. This is none of that. See, when it comes to how the Lord looks and how his people look, now you got to go into symbolic. It's a symbolic meaning. When a sheep hair don't got no, not even a sheep hair, human hair don't got no symbolic meaning to it. That's just what the hair was. And that's the image of God. That's the true image of God. Then when you go to let's see, Daniel, I think it's 10:5, talking about Yahweh, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Here in verse 6, it said his body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like the color of polished brass. So he was a brown skinned man. He was the image of his father. So when you go to Revelation, which is Jehovah wickedness, they gonna say everything is symbolic. The scriptures have a precept upon precept, line upon line. Is unified. The scriptures are what you call it, non-contradicting itself. It's saying the same thing. See, but these people, they all over the place. Say the same thing. 14, it said his hairs and his head had his head and his hairs were white like wool. There you go again with the wool. As white as snow, and his eyes was a flame of fire. His feet like unto fine brass, as if they burnt in a furnace. So they were the color of brown, brown burnt in the furnace. That means they was very dark. And so that goes along with Acts 13. It also goes along with Jeremiah. But see, all of this is when it comes to these JWs, it's not going to end up being this way. Jeremiah 14 and 2, it says, Judah mourneth and gates thereof language, they are black unto the ground. So it's telling you straight up, these peoples was dark-skinned people. He said, I am black but comely, meaning beautiful, O ye daughters of Jerusalem. Look at verse 6. It gave some detail. It said, look not upon me because I am black, because the sun have looked upon me. See, the sun make brown-skinned people darker. If you're not dark-skinned and you're a so-called white person, you're not gonna get dark, and you definitely not gonna get black. So this is the lies of these people, and they run with their lies and witchcraft, because that's just rebellion and stubbornness. Oh yeah, let me get this in John, because this is not the spirit of the Lord. This is the certified devil. See, they certifying themselves by the action that they operate with. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. Must tell the truth. See, it's no option. Are we going to tell a white lie? No, you must tell the truth. You can't go around talking about showing all pictures of the ancient pictures, showing them that they white people. You can't do that. Look at Revelation 22. This would really kill them, because they don't went in there and changed everything out of this Bible. It say, for I testify, every man that heareth the word of the prophecy of this book, if any shall add to these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in the book. If any man take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part from out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things written in the book. So who took away? Now let's get this verse that this clear situation they done took out and switched the whole thing up. And I want to get it out of the well, let's get it out the King James first, and then we'll get it out of the Bible. Acts chapter 2. Now in Acts chapter 2 is all these indications that these peoples was Israelites, and they was only Israelites. But they'll tell you something else. Look, devout men, Jews out of every nation. Jews out of every nation. That's very clear. And the Jehovah wickedness to try to say it was some proselytes, some non-Jews in the mix of this. But if it's non-Jews in the mix of this, why is they saying this in verse 22? Ye men of Israel, hear these words. So you gonna say something like that when you got all kind of other people involved? When you got people that's not Israelites involved, Peter just gonna stand up and say, "Ye men of Israel, hear these words." Come on, man. He not gonna disrespect them people like that. Then let's get another one. Here he say, in 29, men, brethren, meaning Israelites, family, let me speak freely unto you, meaning he talking to the Israelites of the patriot of David. Patriarch meaning these are Israelites of the family of the bloodline of David. Then look at verse uh 36. He do it again. He said, therefore, let all the house of Israel know assuredly. See, don't let all the peoples of all nations, don't let all nations in the world know assuredly, but let all the house of Israel know assuredly. But see, these jokers change the whole situation. Now look at 29. It said, he clearly said, men, brethren, meaning he was talking to the Israelites. He was letting them know, I'm showing you what's going on. Let me speak freely unto you of the. Now look at what these people do. Jehovah wickedness and all the rest of them. Look at what they do. They gonna butcher this verse. Now, the New International Version kept it real and pretty much showed what the situation was about. Fellow Israelites, that's how this thing should have been worded. Fellow Israelites, I can tell you confidently that the patriarch David died, meaning our fellow Israelite brother died. Now look at him. Look at what these other people do. Okay, let's go to the English Standard Version. Brothers, I may say unto you with confidence about the patriarch David. See, about the patriarch. He was talking to the Israelites, man. He wasn't talking to a bunch of non-Israelites about David. He was saying, you of the patriarch of David. I'm talking to you people, you Israelites about David. I'm not talking to these heathens about David, these people that done so-called converted into our nation, who done moved in our nation and just adapted our laws and want to hope on some promise that we was given. Look at the Christian Standard Bible. Brothers and sisters, I say I can confidently speak to you about the patriarch David. See, it was not some brothers and sisters. There wasn't no sisters on the scene, first of all. But see, this is what they do. They change the Bible. And that's just the other peoples that's like the Jehovah wickedness. But we gonna go to them real quick. Let's get out of that. Let's get to Jehovah. All right, let's get a little verse. Okay, 29. We're gonna go into this New World Translation. See, watch how they change the verse now. It say, men, brothers, it is permissible to speak with freeness and speech to you about the family head David. See, now I let you know it's talking about the family, but it was saying in the King James, it said, I'm speaking to you of the family of David. See, of the family of David, not about the family of David, but of the family of David. And he was getting ready to say that Jehovah was promised to come through him. It was promised to come through David. So these dragons, man. And goes back to the Edomites. This is who running that organization. A bunch of Edomites. And these people are certified liars. Now when you go into let's see here. Genesis 25:27. This Gita, they daddy. It says, and the boys grew. Esau was a cunning hunter. See, he was a certified liar, man. That joker knew how to lie and trick his way through the situation. Psalms 52. It said, talking about the Edomite, a psalm of David, whose Dogon, the Edomite, came to Saul running his mouth. See, the Edomites was always dealing with Israel, and they dealing with a bunch of lies. Look at verse 3. Thou loveth evil more than good, and lying rather than speaking righteousness. See, they love telling a lie. See, these individuals love telling a lie. And see, they the fourth kingdom too, in Daniel. The fourth beast. You go into Daniel 7. Certified history. Going to Daniel 7, it talks about the fourth beast. It was these great beasts. There was four. There was kings. So he's talking about kingdom, the fourth kingdoms on the earth, and the last kingdom that was gonna be reigning. See, 23. It says, "Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth. They will speak great words against the Most High, changing the laws and the times." See, this fourth beast goes back to second Ezra. This is another thing that these Jehovah Witnesses took out of the Bible. See, they took the words out of the Bible, just like Revelation 22 said they was going to do. See, that's why they not going to get no part in the book of life. You cannot take out, nobody was given permission to take out anything. Elders was a top prophet he was one of the top leaders of the nation of Israel, man. When they went back to the homeland during the Persian rule, they Ezra was the one that was the leader at that time. Look at 11 and talk about the fourth. The fourth came. The fourth what? It says, "Art thou it? Are not?" Look at 39, man. See, the Edomites is certified. "Are not thou it that remaineth of the fourth beast, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their time might come through them?" So the end of the world was going to come through this fourth beast. And these dragons is ruling in this fourth beast. It says, so let's just go ahead and connect it. Let's connect it real quick. Say the end of the world should come through the fourth beast. Look at him. "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." It don't get no simpler than that. The end of the world coming through the fourth beast, and Esau is the end of the world. So Esau is the fourth beast. And look what it say. And verse 40. "And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the compass of the earth with much wicked oppression." See, Edom is known as the wicked. When you go into Malachi 1 and 4, the border of wickedness. See, the Edomites. "And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. For the earth has thou not judged with truth." See, he ruling with deceit. 42. Here we go again. "For thou hast afflicted the meek and hast hurt the peaceable. Thou hast loved liars." See them jokers lying through their teeth at every turn and every chance they get. They trying to tell a bold-faced lie. See, that's why these Jehovah Witnesses do what they do. They got all the characters as a so-called Edomite. And these red dragons is the fourth beast, which Daniel was talking about, and Second Ezra was talking about. That's why they took Second Ezra out the Bible, man. Because they wanted to hide the truth. And they want you to think that they was the Israelites, and they were not the Israelites. They are the Edomites, because the Edomites is the fourth beast. And these jokers is trying to use witchcraft on people and push this false image, keep putting false images in their head, making them imagine a world of Edomites being God's people. And it'll never happen. But I'm going to leave it there. All praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, by Shemri Kakadash, the abundance of the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves scattered around the globe, on slave ships and through many captivities. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.